But let's go ahead and fight Gary here. He should have his Bulbasaur. Squirtle has pretty high defense, so unless Bulbasaur crits too much, I assume he will win. So let's see how this one goes. It's also really weird that the HP bar is blue. I don't know why that bugs me so much, but it does. So it goes for Growl, a little bit annoying, but it should be fine. So I think, you know, we talked a little bit about Gen 1 mechanics, we talked a little bit about the starters. Something else that I want to talk about is, I think in Gen 1, Tackle is 100% accurate, but as you saw, we just missed Tackle. I'm not actually quite sure if Tackle's 100% or 95 in Gen 1. It might just be 95. But there's something called the 1 in 256 miss glitch in Gen 1, which is something that you need to kind of take into account while fighting Pokemon. So something you probably always heard on when you're doing a Nuzlocke is I need to be careful around crits, right? You know, if you lose a Pokemon because of a crit, it kind of sucks, but maybe you had another out that you didn't use. Well, in Gen 1 specifically, we have a little bit of a bug, which is a 1 in 256 miss glitch, which basically, even if you have a move that has 100% accuracy, or is supposed to have 100% accuracy, there's always a 1 in 256 chance it will miss. So instead of actually being 100% accurate, it's only 99.6. So there's always a slight chance your move will miss. We just missed Tackle, but like I said, it's probably a 95% accurate move. But that's something else you need to really play around in Gen 1. So play around crits always on your Nuzlocks, and always make sure that you also play around the 1 in 256 glitch in Gen 1. So we are getting growled a lot here, which kind of sucks. But we should be fine, right? And obviously we need to be extra careful with all of these problems we might have, right? The crits and the glitch, because, you know, this is a Deathless hardcore Nuzlocke, right? If we lose a Pokemon, it's done, you know? There's not much else to do. He does get a crit, but like I said, we have such high defense that it should be fine, as long as we don't keep missing. I think that's the second tackle we miss. We're very close to winning. We just need him... Okay. Even if he tackled, I think he did 3 damage, so he would survive with 1. We just had to hit that one. And there we go! We won our first fight on our Nuzlocke, and we get Flood to level 6 here. Pretty darn cool. Level 12 is a pretty good level. We're kind of high level, but there's not a lot of trainers to fight before the first gym, so we can easily be behind the level cap of 14. So, forget it, you probably don't have any badges. The guard won't let you through. By the way, did your Pokemon get any stronger? So we're going to be fighting Gary here for the second time. So the second time you fight Gary, he's going to have a level 9 Pidgey, and then a level 8 whatever starter is good against your starter, right? So he's going to be using Scabbers. I'm not really sure if Quick Attack does more damage than Tackle, I assume so. And that's a critical hit. It failed the Scent Attack. I think there's, in Gen 1, there's a flat chance a status condition move will just straight up miss. Not sure what the percentage is, but yeah. Scabbers is pretty much our highest damaging Mon right now. Because it's special, like I already talked about, even Confusion, which is super effective, maybe even does less damage, I'm not really sure. But, you know, just another Quick Attack, and this Gary fight is pretty much over. We can easily take it down with Scabbers here. And, yeah, we're just a little bit over-leveled right now compared to Gary, and we just have better Mons, I guess, with better stab moves. Here we go! So Brock has 2 Pokemon, we have 2 Pokemon, let's do this. So I'm Brock, I'm Peter's gym leader. I believe in rock-hard defense and determination. That's why my Pokemon are all the rock type. Do you still want to challenge me? Fine then. Show me your best. And yeah, like I mentioned before, you know, Brock has a Geodude and an Onix. They don't really have any rock-type moves yet. And, so yeah, I can bring Happy as well as a backup. But these Pokemon have very high defense. So if you bring a Pokemon with special attacks, you'll be totally fine. We have Squirrel, which is probably one of the best Pokemon to fight against this Geodude and Onix. You just have really high defense, you have Stab, Bubble, which is special move, and, you know, Brock doesn't really get to use his high defense Mons, and then Geodude and Onix are kind of just defeated by Bubble. So yeah, Geodude, and, oh, we don't kill! That's the first time I think I don't one-shot that in a very long time. But, yeah, his Geodude is level 12, it has Tackle and Defense Scroll, and then his Onix is level 14, which is our level cap, and has Tackle, Screech, and Bide. And, there we go. Not even taking any damage. Pretty much expected when you pick, Bulbasaur or Squirtle, or even Charmander because of Ember being special and Rock not having any Rock type moves. So we're gonna be Stun Sporing, I think, the Pidgeotto. And that's just kind of confusing it because that Pidgeotto loves to spam Sand Attack, as you all know. It's really annoying, so we're gonna try to make sure we kind of paralyze it to see if it actually doesn't use that many Sand Attacks or it gets paralyzed a little bit and doesn't just spam that through the entire goddamn fight. So let's go for a Stun Spore. Come on, Quick Attack, that's nice. That's a lot of damage. That's 13 damage, right? So crit is 26. We'll keep that in mind. Okay, can still tank a crit. It's actually going for damaging moves as well instead of Sand Attack, which is weird for this Pidgeotto. We're dead to crit here. There's the 1 in 256 miss glitch. If I miss Confusion, I die to a crit. So let's swap here. Let's go Kenya. Actually, Kenya is not the best Pokemon because of its low defense EV. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to go Kenya. Goddamn. Let's go Flood. Its DV on the fence is so low. I can feel it, dude. Okay, let's go Water Gun. And there we go. Now the fight should be a bit easier. Abra only has Teleport. Oh yeah, Pidgeotto has Gust, Sand Attack, and a Quick Attack, so... Usually really likes to spam Sand Attack, but this Pidgeotto really wanted to do damage to me. But we're totally a-okay with that. And I think Flood is a decent option to switch because, you know, Abra only has Teleport, so it's just a free kill. But Rattata does have Hyper Fang with Stab, so it's good to have a defensive Pokemon like Wartortle here, like Flood, and yeah, we should be able to beat the Rattata with not that many issues, I would assume. That's a critical hit right there, which did 12 damage. And that's a critical hit right there! How do you like those, Gary? Let's go! Good job, Flood. And finally, we have the Bulbasaur, which we really have a really good counter, Keys. Like I mentioned, because of that bug in Generation 1, where Bug is super effective against Poison instead of Poison resisting it, we have 4 times super effective Leech Life, which even if it's not going to do damage, it's still... Wow, that's a crit. Even if it doesn't do damage because it's a, you know, it's a low power move, and we don't have Stab, because it's a Bug-type move, it still does decent amount of damage, and Keys has Squad resistance to Grass, and that's just... Bulbasaur just got destroyed there. Good job, Keys, and that's pretty much Gary. So 2 Pokemon, level cap is 21, let's do it. Hi, you're a new face. Trainers who want to turn pro have to have a policy about Pokemon. What is your approach when you catch Pokemon? My policy is an all-out offensive with Water-type Pokemon. I can't even read. But yeah, so, Weeping Bell. Weeping Bell is just great, right? We have the Grass typing. It's just as good. Especially with, we can even use Wrap if we want to, which is a really broken move. We also have access to the Stun Spore and the Sleep Powder, just a great Pokemon to fight these Water-type Mons. And, yeah, we're just gonna Vine Whip here, the Staryu. Staryu has Tackle and Water Gun. It's not really a hard Mon to defeat. Misty does have a 25% random chance to just click and give her Pokemon an X defense. She has 1 X defense per Pokemon. But yeah, we're just gonna kind of take care of this. The only thing you really need to worry about, not much Staryu, but Starmie. Starmie is a great Pokemon, right? But it is also really fast, which means it has high critical hit ratio because, you know, crits in Gen 1 are based on speed. And Starmie is a really fast Mon, so it has high critical hit ratio. You just have to assume that it's probably gonna crit every single turn. And that way you'll probably be finding this fight. Starmie has Tackle, Water Gun, Bubble Beam. So that's the 25 random chance of giving a next defense to Hermon, which is pretty much just a waste of turn since we're using special attacks. And I'll just keep using Vine Whip. We also had, oh, the critical hit. We also have Beedrill in the back with Twin Needle. It's super effective against Starmie because of, you know, Starmies have Psychic. And Starmie does have high special, but not that high defense, so Beedrill probably does the most damage, but maybe not after that X-Defense, but it's just a nice backup to have, so if you don't really have any other grass type, Beedrill is a really nice second option with Snap Twin Needle. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If we needed, we had backup as well, but that's pretty much Misty. Dun, dun, dun. Bonjour, Dan! I imagine seeing you here. Dan, were you really invited? Okay, Gary, okay. We're just gonna destroy you now. So how's your Pokedex coming? I already caught 40 kind spell. Different kinds are everywhere. Crawl around in grassy areas. He's like really jerk mode, and then he's like, oh, do you know how to catch Oh my god, Gary, we're gonna demolish you now. You have awoken the deep rage inside me, and I'm gonna throw it all on you. So yeah, we're just gonna use a little bit of Sappers here with Hyper Fang, Stab, and Quick Attack. Take care of the Pidgeotto as fast as possible. We don't want this to spam the Sand Attack, which is so annoying to deal with. Next up we have the Raticate, so we'll just go back to Hyper Fanging. And there we go, one shot. We're pretty high level, so that's good. Have Scarce level 24 at the level cap, but it's still fine to use. So then we have a Kadabra. So this is a Pokemon I would usually use Raticate or Gyarados to take care of. You just really want to use a Pokemon with really high attack, or a Pokemon like Scabbers with Hyper Fang, and just stab and just one-shot it, because, it can be troublesome to deal with Kadabra. I already mentioned Kadabra so many times. It's really good, really high special, really high speed. Confusion can, be troublesome. And then we just Twin Needle, 4 times super effective, because Bug being super effective against Poison in Gen 1, and you just one-shot the Ivysaur. And there you go, pretty darn easy Gary fight. So, level cap is 24, we have 3 Mons versus 3, let's get to it. Hey kid, what do you think you're doing here? You won't live long in combat, that's for sure. I tell you kid, Electric-type Pokemon saved me during the war. They zapped my enemies into paralysis, the same as I'll do to you. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Alright, 3 Ground-type Mons against 4 Lieutenant Surge. Okay, so Lieutenant Surge starts with the Voltorb. This has Tackle, Screech, and Sonic Boom. And we're just gonna Dig. Like I mentioned before, Dig in Generation 1 has 100 base power. That is the same as Earthquake. And we have it from a Diglett at level 19 that learns it via level up. Absolutely insane. Diglett also outspeeds every single Pokemon that Lieutenant Surge will have, so we just kind of Dig, unless they Quick Attack, obviously. And we just Dig and kind of just one-shot them. We got the Stab, we got the Earthquake 2-turn move, and we just one-shot Lieutenant Surge's Mons. Even if we couldn't with Diglett, we still have the backup of Nidoqueen and Sandslash. A tremendously broken team for Lieutenant Surge. Let's be honest here. Pikachu has Thunder Shock, Growl, Thunder Wave, and Quick Attack, and this Raichu has Thunder Shock, Growl, and Thunderbolt, so it doesn't even have a damaging move against Ground-type Mons. Absolutely wrecked. And that's pretty much Lieutenant Surge. Hey Dan, what brings you here? Your Pokemon don't look dead? I can at least make them faint. Let's go. Hell no. No thank you. But let's fight Gary. So Gary starts off with his very annoying Pidgeotto that loves to spend Sand Attack, but hopefully Tremor can hit some of his Rock Throws. It's not a very accurate move, but please hit the move, Tremor. And this has Gust, Sand Attack, Quick Attack, and... okay, we hit. And Whirlwind. So that's really good damage. Good job, Tremor. He did pretty much all I wanted Tremor to do this fight. Next up, we have this Gyarados. This Gyarados is actually really strong for this point of the game. It has Leer, but then it has Dragon Rage, which is a really good move. It does 40 flat damage. And it has Hydro Pump, which is another really good move. A lot of damage. And then it has Bite. So we're going to go into our own Gyarados here. Let's see what it goes for. Ideally, Hydro Pump, to be honest, or Leer is also very fine. And we're going to go Dragon Rage. Do 40 damage. And yeah, if we don't beat this with Ceres, we do have Scabbers as a backup, so it's totally fine. And we're still fine. We're just gonna use another Dragon Rage. That seems to be enough, so good job, Ceres. Up next, we have a Growlithe. I'm gonna go ahead and go into Armadillo for this one. Growlithe has Bite, Roar, and Ember, so we should be fine. Please no burn. Okay, nice. We're just gonna Dig. And this Growlithe is gone. Right, very nice. Next up should be the Kadabra. Another pretty scary Pokemon. This has Teleport, Confusion, and Sable, but we finally have a really good counter with Baku. Pretty much the best way to counter Psychic types is with Psychic types themselves, but using physical moves. So we do have a Baku with, with its level up move pool, level up learning move pool. it learns Headbutt. So it's a pretty good move to actually deal damage to Kadabra, which has low defense. And yeah, it can't do any damage to us with Confusion. It's using Teleport for some reason, but there we go. That's the Kadabra. Now we have a really good counter. And finally we have the Ivysaur, which I'm going to go into Stinger and just Twin Needle 4 times super effective, and this is probably gone. Ivysaur has Growl, Leech Seed, Vine Whip, and Poison Powder. The Growl shouldn't even matter. This should be a lot of damage. Yeah. Ends up being a little bit over half after the Growl, so still pretty good amount of damage. And that's pretty much it for Gary. Really nice fight. 3 Pokemon, level cap of 29. Let's do this. So hello, lovely weather, isn't it? It's so pleasant. Oh dear, I must have dozed off. Welcome, my name is Erica. I am the leader of the Celadon Gym. I teach the art of flower arranging. My Pokemon are of the grass type. Oh, I'm sorry, I had no idea that you wished to challenge me. Very well, but I shall not lose. Okay, so Erica. 3 Mon, she's gonna be starting with her Victory Bell, with Razor Leaf, Wrap, Poison Powder, and Sleep Powder. So grass types are easily countered by bug types, but you do need to be careful if you're not using Beedrill or something, because, so first of all, let's take a look at Victory Bell. She has Razor Leaf, which is already a move with a high crit chance, right? We already talked about how crit chance works in Gen 1, it's based on your speed. So Pokemon with decently high speed, one of them actually being Victory Bell, using a move with high critical hit ratio, actually increases their chance of crit with Razor Leaf by 8 times. Obviously it doesn't matter against Beedrill specifically because we're quad resistant, but it's something to be careful about. Victory Bell also has Wrap, so a very annoying move. It just paralyzes you and there's no counterplay to it. A very annoying move to deal with. And then you have Poison Powder, which doesn't really matter for Stinger specifically, and not one of the best status conditions of Gen 1. And then we have Sleep Powder, the best status condition in Gen 1, putting you to sleep from 1 to 7 turns with no counterplay whatsoever when you wake up, and you can just be put to sleep the next turn. So yeah, grass types are a bit annoying, but we do have Stinger because of the bug in Generation 1, where bug is super effective against poison. Instead of poison resisting it, we have 4 times super effective attack against the Victory Bell, and we do decent enough damage just to one-shot it. Yeah. Next up is going to be the Tangela, the only pure grass type of Generation 1. It only has Constrict and Bind, so pretty easy to deal with, to be honest. It does have really high defense and really high special. As you can see, we can't even one-shot it. We're missing that little bit of extra damage. But yeah, I just missed the Bind. We're just going to Twin Needle again. Lastly, it's going to be the Vileplume. It has Petal Dance, which is a pretty high damaging move. It also has Poison Powder, Mega Drain, and Sleep Powder, and we're just going to one-shot it again with Twin Needle. So we do have that Twin Needle 4 times super effective damage just to one-shot it, but if you do not take care of the grass types fast, they can be really annoying with the Wrap, with the Bind, with the Sleep Powder, but yeah, that's pretty much it for Erica. Right, let's fight Giovanni. So, I must say, I am impressed you got here, and that's all he says. So yeah, Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket, is pretty easy to defeat. So he starts off with his Onix. This has Screech, Bind, Rock Throw, and Rage. We're just gonna Water Gun with our Flood. And that should be enough to one-shot it. There we go. Up next... Oh, level 28, nice. Up next is the Rhyhorn. This only has Horn Attack for some reason, so we're just gonna one-shot it with Water Gun again. And that leaves the only problem of the fight, I would say, is going to be his ace, the Kangaskhan. This can do a lot of damage. It has Comet Punch, Rage, and Bite. So ideally, it goes for Rage, to be honest, because then it just gets stuck on Rage. And that is a lot of damage. God damn! We have really high defense. That's a wow. But yeah, it's a Bite crit. I just went for a bubble there just to see if it could actually get a speed drop. But we're just going to try to wall this with Tremor. Tremor having really high defense is just going to completely wall the Kangaskhan. Especially now that I actually used Rage. Which means he's actually stuck on Rage until the fight is over. Until I die or he dies. But I have a lot more Pokemon. So yeah, his Rage is going to build. He's going to do more damage each turn. But it's not going to matter because we're so damn tanky. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Some good counters to this is you can kind of just stall it. There's not many Pokemon that can go head-to-head against this. As you can see, you know, Wartortle has pretty high defense. This thing just used Bite and Crit and did so much of his HP. So yeah, pretty much you want to use either a Rock type, or you can like use Leech Seed or something like that, and just, or Poison Powder or something like that, and slowly weather it down with a more defensive Pokemon. Because yeah, going 1v1 against it is not easy. Yeah, eventually should be down. There you go, that's how you beat the Kangaskhan. As you can see, a lot of potential trouble with his stab normal type moves. That's pretty much it for Giovanni. So, hello. Gary, what kept you waiting, Dan? Ha 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 ha, I thought you'd turn up if I waited here. I guess Team Rocket slowed you down, not that I care. I saw you in Saffron, so I decided to see you, to see if you got better. So let's go ahead and fight Gary. So Gary's gonna start off with his Pidgeot here. It's gonna be level 37 with Wing Attack, Sand Attack, Quick Attack, and Whirlwind. And we're just gonna go ahead and Thunderbolt this. And this should be a one-shot, I hope. I think it is, so very good. Charge Volt is just way too strong. And this is gonna actually go into Gyarados next. So this is why going Charge Bolt over like a Tremor or you know, a Rock type is better, because then you can just Thunderbolt the Gyarados and one-shot it as well. This Gyarados has Dragon Rage, Hydro Pump, Bite, and Leer, so you can be a little bit scary with the Hydro Pump. Even the Dragon Rage or the Bite can do decent damage. But yeah, we're just gonna Thunderbolt and one-shot the Gyarados as well. So now this is gonna go into the Growlithe. We're gonna go ahead and go into Armadillo. Just a decent ground type to counter it. And it's gonna Leer. Growlithe has Roar, Ember, Leer, and Takedown. And we're just gonna go ahead and Dig just to ensure we one-shot this. Dig is very, very powerful in Gen 1. That should be another one-hit KO, especially with Armadillo's high attack. Very good. And this is going to bait the Alakazam, probably the scariest Pokemon that Gary has. This has Psybeam, Confusion, Disable, and Recover. We're gonna go ahead and go to our Psychic-type counter, Trunker. This thing has huge special, like 120 base special. It's really good. And we're gonna go ahead and just Leech Seed. Because Air Bomb isn't a 100 base normal type move, but it only has 85% accuracy, so we're gonna make sure to always kind of just play it safe. We're gonna Leech Seed just to have that little bit of extra healing and damage into the Alakazam. And then we're gonna Stun Spore it. Stun Spore will decrease, you know, Alakazam's speed by 75%, and then there's a 25% chance this gets fully paralyzed, right? But the 75% speed reduction is really huge, because if we ever need to swap for whatever reason, we can just go into another Mon and we can outspeed it, because, you know, 75% speed decrease is a lot, even if the Mon is as fast as Alakazam. Finally, we have the Venusaur as Gary's last Mon. This has Leech Seed, Vine Whip, Poison Powder, and Razor Leaf, and we have probably one of the best counters in the game, Stinger. And we're just gonna Twin Needle, 4 times super effective, and it seems we barely kill it, but even the bulky Venusaur goes down to Stinger's Twin Needle. And with that, we have defeated Gary. Let's see. Ah, Dan, so we meet again! The President and I are discussing a vital business proposition. Keep your nose out of grown-up matters, or experience a world of pain. And let's fight Giovanni. So Giovanni has 4 Pokemon. Yeah, it shouldn't be that much of a big issue. He starts off with his Nidorino. This has Horn Attack, Poison Sting, Focus Energy, and Fury Attack. We're just gonna Dig and one-shot this. Giovanni has a 25 random chance of giving a Guard Spec to each of his Mons. I guess it's good to use it while we're digging, because he can't miss the move, but it doesn't really help him. So against the Kangaskhan, we're gonna go into Garma the Hunter. This only has normal type moves, so this has Comet Punch, Rage, Bite, and Tail Whip. So we can just kind of Nightshade this. We could also just Hypnosis and try to Dream Eater it, but yeah. He goes for another Guard Spec there because he can't hit us. I guess it makes sense. But yeah, slowly but surely this Kangaskhan is gonna go down. He can't do anything to Garma here, which is pretty hilarious, because this is, you know, the big boss Giovanni, and he can't even hit my Ghost type, even though he's the one that gave us the Silph Scope. That's actually hilarious. I just thought about that. And yeah, next up is the Rhyhorn. This also only has normal type moves for some reason. This has Horn Attack, Stomp, and Tail Whip? Yeah, and Tail Whip. So, I mean, yeah, this can hit us as well. Like I mentioned before, you can easily just take down Giovanni with just Haunter, but I don't really want to rely on trying to hit the 60% Hypnosis, because I know the game will hate me, and will be here for like 30 minutes just trying to hit a Hypnosis and trying to Dream Eater. But yeah, Hypnosis Dream Eater combo, especially on Giovanni, which has like no ways of dealing damage to you, is pretty great, and 100 base power on Dream Eater is pretty good. Then on the Nidoqueen, we'll just go Flood, just so we can kill this with like Surf. Nidoqueen has Scratch, Tail Whip, Body Slam, and Poison Sting. So yeah, the most damage that Nidoqueen can do to Haunter is Poison Sting, which is 4 times resistant. As you can see, Haunter just does really well into this fight, and you can easily just use Haunter. I'm just using a little bit of other mons. We get to use Flood a little bit as well, and I guess some more Armadillo. And Giovanni still goes down pretty easily with our mons. So good job, team, and that is Giovanni defeated. So there we go. So, for Pokemon level cap of 43, let's fight Koga, shall we? Wahahaha! A mere child like you dares to challenge me. Very well, I shall show you true terror. As a ninja master, you shall feel the despair of poison and sleep techniques. I never understood why he says sleep techniques if he doesn't have any sleeping, you know, moves, but whatever. So yeah, Koga, 4 Pokemon. He starts with his Coughing. He has 2 Coughings with the same move pool. This has Tackle, Smog, Sludge, and Smokescreen. We're just gonna go ahead and use Dig with Armadillo. Dig in Gen 1 again has 100 base power, which is the same as Earthquake, but it takes 2 turns to load. That's literally it. But Armadillo, really, it doesn't really matter if it's a 2-turn or 1 turn. Then he goes for the Muck. This has Disable, Poison Gas, Minimize, and Sludge. We really want to kill this fast, but we can't really. He goes for the Dig and he doesn't minimize, so good thing. We could just one-shot it without worrying too much about evasion. It's not like this would be a threat in terms of damaging Armadillo, but it would just be annoying to just be stalled by minimize for a couple of turns. Next up we have the other Coughing, so same move pool, same level, same everything. Koga also has a 25% random chance to just use an X attack on one of his Pokemon, but that shouldn't really matter. And finally, the Wheezing, I'm just going to go to Tremor just to be extra safe, like I already talked about. And we're just going to Earthquake, and this should be done. This has Smog, Sludge, Toxic, and Self-Destruct. And we will just Earthquake. And there is the X attack he's going to use on his Wheezing. He can't really do anything to Tremor, so the Earthquake will finish this fight. Yeah, like I mentioned before, Poison types are really easy. They're one of the worst typings in the game, so finding options to defeat Koga shouldn't be too hard. And that is Koga. Yeah, alright, so for Pokemon level cap of 43, let's fight Sabrina. I had a vision of your arrival. I have had psychic powers since I was a child. I first learned to bend spoons with my mind. I dislike fighting, but if you wish, I will show you my powers. Alright, so Sabrina, Psychic type trainer. Right, so yeah, Sabrina's probably one of the toughest gyms just because Psychic typing is the best in the game, but we do have good counters. Like I mentioned, having really fast Pokemon with high attack, or not so fast Pokemon with really high special, and even Pokemon that resist Psychic typing will do great in this gym. Starting out, we have Ceres, 100 base special, so decent special, right? 125 base attack, absolutely insane. Super strong. We have our strength here. It's 80 base with no stab, but still do a lot of damage and probably one-shot this Kadabra. So this Kadabra has Disable, Psybeam, Recover, and Psychic, and we're just going to go ahead and Strength, and this should be a pretty free one-shot. There we go. Next up is going to be the Mr. Mime. It's a bit more supportive. It has similar stats to Kadabra, I would say. Still pretty high special below the fence. This has Confusion, Barrier, Light Screen, and Double Slap. We're just going to go ahead and Strength again, and I think this is actually a one-shot, I would assume. No! Oh, okay. Pretty interesting, but we're just going to go for another Strength, and that should do the job for the Mr. Mime. Next up, we have an interesting Pokemon. We have the Venomoth, which is not even a Psychic type, but it does have access to Psychic type moves, and it's pretty annoying. This is pretty decently fast. It has Poison Powder, Leech Life, Stun Spore, and Psybeam. Let's just go for more Strength, and yeah, we could have also taught this maybe like Surf or something, but I think this is totally fine. we'll just strength and beat the Venomoth. And that's 3 of Sabrina's Pokemon down with just Cirrus. So yeah, Gyarados does pretty well in this fight in my opinion. It's a great Pokemon to use. Lastly, we have, obviously, Sabrina's ace, the Alakazam. This thing is always a threat. This has Psybeam, Recover, Psywave, and Reflect. We're gonna go into Trunker, and if anything goes wrong for any reason, we have really good backups. But I think Trunker is a really good mon to just start, has really high special, it resists the Psychic typing, and we have access to Leech Life and Stun Spore, which just makes this a really, really easy fight, because slowly but surely this thing will go down even if you miss Egg Bomb. And obviously, we will eventually hit an Egg Bomb, hopefully. It's 85% accuracy, but has 100 base power. It's really, really good. And yeah, it's a normal type move, so it's physical. And Trunker has okay-ish attack, but obviously you want to use physical attacks to beat the Alakazam. Unfortunately, we haven't hit our Stun Spore. It's only 75% accuracy. For some reason, this Alakazam is just perma using Recover. I guess it doesn't see any damage against Trunker. But we finally hit the Stun Spore, and now let's go on the offensive with Egg Bomb. And we hit the first Egg Bomb. This might even just kill, but we always have to play it safe with the Leech Sheet and the Stun Spore. There we go. Forgetting the moves names for a second. But another Egg Bomb hit. Nope. Gotta miss. And yeah, he's just stuck on that Recover. He's not stopping. Eventually, hopefully, we'll hit 2 Egg Bombs in a row, or he'll get fully paralyzed, because he's not even deciding to attack. And yeah, 85% accuracy. Gotta love missing 2 Egg Bombs in a row, Trunker. Okay, come on! 3! Yeah, 85 accuracy, by the way. We just missed 3 in a row. Gotta love Pokemon accuracy. 4 in a row! Let's go, Trunker! Okay, 85 accuracy. Yeah, okay, Trunker. Can we go 5 in a row? No, we cannot. Oh, how sad. God damn it, why my Pokemon never want to hit their moves? It's 85 accuracy. Like, Trunker, please. You don't have to miss 4 times in a row, okay? You can hit your move. No? Okay, we're going back to missing, and of course the Alakazam never gets fully paralyzed and just spams Recover. And this is very anticlimactic, but it is what it is. Can we please hit 2 Egg Bombs in a row, Trunker? It's 85%. Or can you get like fully paralyzed once? It's 25%. Why can I never have the percentage working in my favor? Oh, okay. And Egg Bomb. Yes, we hit the move. Is this enough to kill though? It is. So there we go. That's Sabrina. Let's fight Blaine. For Pokemon, the low cap is 47. Let's do it. Aha! I am Blaine. I am the leader of Cinnabar Gym. My fiery Pokemon will incinerate all challengers. Ha! You better have Burn Heal. Alright, so yeah, Blaine is quite easy. Fire types are not the greatest, especially in Generation 1. We have great Pokemon to take care of Blaine. Ideally, the best mon, in my opinion, the best Pokemon to counter fire types is Escargot, the Omastar with 4 times resistant to fire. It has 125 base defense and like 115 base special. This thing is an absolute monster. It's a really good Pokemon, really good stats. The only problem is that it's kind of slow, but doesn't really matter because Growlithe can't really do much damage, or any of his fire types can do much damage to Escargot. So yeah, this Growlithe has Ember, Leer, Takedown, and Agility. We're just gonna go for a little Surf here. And we're actually faster than the Growlithe. That's kind of crazy. But we will kind of just one-shot it. There we go. Let's see, next up should be the Ponyta. This has Tail Whip, Stomp, Growl, and Fire Spin. The only thing can be a little bit annoying is that we're actually faster. That's crazy. If we're slower, he goes for Fire Spin. Fire Spin is kind of like Bind or Wrap. In Gen 1, it's really annoying. Just kind of paralyzes you. You can't really do much for a couple of turns, but yeah. Good job, Escargot, so far. Next up, we have the Rapidash with Tail Whip, Stomp, Growl, and Fire Spin. The exact same move pool. This one is actually faster, but he goes for the Tail Whip instead, which won't really do anything. I don't think he has an option to kill me, either with normal type moves or with fire type moves. I just resist them with the Rock Water typing, and that's going to be the Rapidash. Finally, Blaine's ace, the Arcanine. This thing has Roar, Ember, Fire Blast, and Takedown. He's gonna miss the Takedown. That is hilarious. He couldn't even do 1 damage to Escargot. That's just funny. But there goes the Arcanine, and that's how you beat Blaine. So Giovanni, level cap 50. 5 Pokemon, let's do it. Whoa-ha-ha-ha! This is my hideout. I plan to resurrect Team Rocket here. But you have caught me again. So be it, this time. I'm not holding back. Once more, you shall face Giovanni, the greatest trainer. And the last gym badge on our Pokemon Blue Deathless Hardcore Nuzlocke against Giovanni here. So let's see how it goes. He's gonna start with his Rhyhorn. This has Stomp, Tail Whip, Fury Attack, and Horn Attack. It only has normal type moves, so like I mentioned, I think Haunter is also a really good Pokemon to bring, but yeah, I think this team is actually pretty fine. We have Tangela. Tangela is a pretty underrated Pokemon. The thing is, the only pure grass type of Generation 1, has really high defense, really high special. It's actually really good just to counter most ground types in the game. So yeah, we're just gonna use Wild Vine for a little bit. It only has Absorb. Its level up move pool is not that great, but Absorb is all we need to one-shot this Rhyhorn, to be honest. And there we go. So yeah, next up should be the Dugtrio. This thing is pretty fast, decent attack, but again, it doesn't compare it to Wild Vine. It just can't get through his defense with its move pool. It has Growl, Dig, Sand Attack, and Slash. We're just gonna go for another Absorb. It's gonna slash us. Yes, it's gonna crit us. It's gonna do very little damage, and we're just gonna get it back with Absorb. So, Tangela. Oh, critical hit. Yeah, we don't even kill. Okay. I think we have kind of a low special DV on this Tangela, which is totally fine. And we're just gonna do another hit, and no issue whatsoever. The Dugtrio is gonna go down. So yeah, now this is going to go into Nidoqueen. Obviously have Poison. Not the greatest for our Wild Vine here, so we're gonna go ahead and go to Bombshell. This thing, 180 base defense. These physical attackers can't do anything to our Cloyster. And yeah, Nidoqueen has Scratch, Tail Whip, Body Slam, and Poison Sting. We're just gonna go ahead and Surf here. This should be maybe not a one-shot. We do have not that high special, but maybe it's enough. Surf is a pretty strong move. And there we go, one-shot on the Nidoqueen. Alright, next up has the Nidoking. Yeah, and this has Tackle, Horn Attack, Poison Sting, and Thrash. And as you might expect, it's the same deal as Nidoqueen. We're just gonna Surf it, and it should be a one-hit KO. Since Nidoqueen is kind of bulkier than Nidoking, well, Nidoking's a bit more offensive. And then finally is going to be the Rhydon. This has Stomp, Tail Whip, Fissure, and Horn Drill. I'll just go back to Wild Vine because I like using Wild Vine. Give it some screen time. I do love Tangela. And yeah, it's gonna go for the Tail Whip. Rhydon has two one-hit KO moves. Right, Fissure and Horn Drill. The way one-hit KO moves work in Generation 1 is that if you are slower than your opponent, so in this case, if Wild Vine was slower than Rhydon, one-hit KO moves have a 30% chance of hitting. But if your Pokemon is faster than, so in this case, if a Tangela is faster than Rhydon, Rhydon's one-hit KO moves cannot hit. Your Pokemon must speed faster just to have the 30% chance of hitting the one-hit KO move. And Tangela is faster than Rhydon, so this will never hit a one-hit KO move. And we can just go for an Absorb here and just kind of defeat the Rhydon. And with that, Giovanni. Seems that we're going to be taking two Absorbs this time. Not a problem. Even though we have special low DV, we can one-shot these monsters with Absorb, which is not the greatest move. It's still enough to beat Giovanni very, very safely. So there we go. That's Giovanni. Yeah, let's go ahead and fight Gary once again. What, Dan? What a surprise to see you here! So, you're going to the Pokemon League? You collected all the badges too? That's cool. Then I'll whip you, Dan, as a warm-up for the Pokemon League. Come on. I don't know why he wants to whip me. That's such a weird thing to say. But, okay, Gary's gonna start off with his Pidgeot. And, this has Wing Attack, Agility, Quick Attack, and Whirlwind. I'm just gonna go ahead and Thunderbolt with Charge Bolt. And should be a pretty free one-shot. Charge Bolt is extremely powerful. There we go. There goes the Pidgeot. Next up is going to be the Rhyhorn. So we're going to go ahead and switch here. And we're just going to go into Wild Vine. And yeah, Wild Vine, incredibly high defense. Pure grass type makes it resist the ground type moves. And he actually doesn't take any damage from normal type moves. Yeah, this Rhyhorn has Fury Attack, Stomp, Horn Attack, and Tail Whip. So it doesn't even have... it doesn't even have ground type moves, but it's fine. Wild Vine's just gonna one-shot it with the Absorb. We're gonna heal back to full. And next up we have the Gyarados. So we're gonna go back into Charge Bolt. Let's go back to Charge Bolt. Thunderbolt, 4 times super effective, right? He goes for the Hydro Pump. Let's see how much damage this actually does. But Gyarados has Dragon Rage, Hydro Pump, Bite, and Leer. And we're dead to crit, right? That was 50 damage. If we miss Thunderbolt, we're dead to crit here. What can we go into to fight this? We can try to do chip damage with Set. And we can maybe finish with Escargot. We can also go Trunker to... I'm gonna go Trunker to see if we can paralyze this. Okay. That is unfortunate. He actually went for Hydro Pump there. But yeah, Gyarados is usually one of his scariest Pokemons because he just has a very powerful move pool. And we'll go Stun Spore. That sucks. He's gonna go for Bite. Okay, go for another one. There we go. That's a decent hit. Fully Paralyzed is great. I'm gonna go into Set so he can have a little bit of chip damage here on the Gyarados. He's gonna go Dragon Rage. Oof, I think we died a Hydro Pump actually. I think we're dead Hydro Pump. I'm gonna go Escargot here. Okay. This is neutral. We have really high special. It's not very effective. Okay. That still does so much damage. Okay, we don't really have much damage to do ourselves. How much does Horn Attack do? This just become a little bit troublesome. We're dead to another Hydro Pump. A crit one. Wow, we're not gonna be using Wild Vine anymore. I guess I can go Wild Vine here, see what he can do. Maybe Leech Seed would have been good. But yeah, okay. Let's Bind. We'll abuse Bind and Paralyze to beat the Gyarados. This, yeah. Had to play around the 156 glitch, and we're gonna abuse Bind for a little bit. So Bind plus Paralyze is actually pretty OP, as you can see. Like, Gyarados can't do anything, and once my Bind ends, I can just Bind again because I'm faster because of the Paralyze. You know, because, you know, Wild Vine is a pretty slow Pokemon. So, wow. This fight just became really scary out of nowhere. And yeah, it's just because of Gyarados. But yeah, this is fine. We're just binding. Binding and Wrap is super broken in Gen 1. I guess I get to utilize a little bit of the Gen 1 mechanics in my favor. Maybe I should have done this earlier before getting so much damage on my other Pokemon. But it's totally fine. And yeah, okay, cool. That's how you beat the Gyarados, I guess. I didn't want to risk the Thunderbolt miss into Hydro Pump crit on the Gyarados. So yeah, we'll do it like that. Maybe not as safe because we did lose a lot of HP, but it's fine. We can just go into Escargot on the Growlithe. I mean, it can't do any damage to us. So I'm totally fine going with a 60 HP Escargot into this Growlithe. Fine, we're just gonna Surf. The Growlithe has Ember, Takedown, Leer, and Agility. You just spam me Agility, so I'm gonna use this opportunity to just one-shot it with the Surf. And I think we're back on track. We did lose a lot of HP on Pokemon that we didn't necessarily want to use anyway, so it's still totally fine. And, okay, he's gonna go into the Alakazam. This is the scariest Pokemon he has, right? I don't have a good counter like I do. And this has Psychic, Psybeam, Reflect, and Recover. We're gonna go back into Trunker. He's a little bit chipped down, but he still shouldn't take a lot of damage from Alakazam. Yeah, he's gonna go for the Psychic here. That shouldn't do a lot of damage. Trunker has really high special, and he obviously resists the Psychic typing. We are gonna go Leech Seed first, actually. Just because Stun Spore can miss, and we just want to have the Leech Seed going so we can get a little bit of HP back each turn. We're gonna go for the Paralyze here. Okay, we're taking 20 damage. So crit is 40. I think we're totally fine. We're also regenerating a little bit of HP. And we do hit the Stun Spore. Okay, now we're going to try to hit the Egg Bomb. 100 base power, 75% accuracy. We missed the first one, of course. That's fine. We have our setup of Leech Seed plus Stun Spore, which just makes Alakazam pretty much defeated. And an Egg Bob hits, that's a lot of damage. He actually sets up the Reflect now, but it shouldn't matter. I don't think Leech Seed is going to kill here, unfortunately, but yeah, one more Egg Bomb or one more turn of Leech Seed is going to take down the Alakazam. So I think we actually ended up with more HP than what we had. Maybe not. I thought we had less than 90, right? I don't know. But last up, we have the Venusaur. We have our great Grass-type counter Stinger. And the Venusaur has Vine Whip, Poison Powder, Razor Leaf, and Growth. He's gonna go for the Growth there, but it doesn't matter. Nothing can beat the Stinger Twin Needle. Yeah, that fight got a bit harder than it was supposed to be, but overall, he still managed to deal with it. And that's scary. Okay. Yeah, so let's fight Lorelei, shall we? Have our team. Level cap is 56 because the highest level Pokemon that Lorelei has is her Jinx and Lapras at 56. I think it's time to challenge the Elite Four, starting out with Lorelei. So welcome to the Pokemon League. I am Lorelei of the Elite Four. No one can best me when it comes to icy Pokemon. Freezing moves are powerful. Your Pokemon will be at my mercy when they are frozen solid. Ha ha ha, are you ready? Hell yeah, we're ready. So, alright. Starting out, we have Lorelei, who specializes in Ice-type Pokemon, which in Gen 1, that basically means she has Water Ice-type Pokemon, which means having a really good Electro-type is gonna be pretty much the deal-breaker for Lorelei. So yeah, she has a lot of bulky Water types, but Charge Volt just has such high speed and special that we can pretty much outspeed and almost one-shot kill pretty much all of her Pokemon. So yeah, starting out we have the Dugong. This thing is kind of decently bulky. It has Growl, Aurora Beam, Rest, and Takedown, but it's just not good enough for Charge Volt. So we're gonna go ahead and Thunderbolt the Dugong and get our first kill here. And there we go, one-shot kill the Dugong. Next up should be the Cloyster. And we got level 57. Something else I did is put every Pokemon really close to the next level so you get the maximum amount of experience while inside the Elite Four. This is called XP edging. And yeah, I have it on all our Pokemon. All our Pokemon are extremely close to the next level. And that's just, yeah, just trying to get the most experience possible. Going into the Elite Four with level 56 Pokemon and fighting up to, I think, level 65 Pokemon on the champion, right? It's a big level discrepancy, so you want to diminish that as much as possible. Next up we have Cloyster. This is another Pokemon with extremely high defense. This thing has 180 base defense, but just not that much special. And we obviously outspeeded with Charge Bolt, so this should be another Thunderbolt kill. And Cloyster has Supersonic, Clamp, Aurora Beam, and Spike Cannon. And yeah, we're just gonna go for another Thunderbolt here, and should be another one-shot kill. And there we go, that's two Pokemon of Lorelei's down. Next up should be the Slowbro. Slowbro is another Pokemon that has okay special, but has pretty decent defense. It's kind of just another bulky Water type. This isn't even Ice, it's just Water Psychic. But yeah, it just has a high defense, decent special. It's very slow, and yeah, it's just not good enough for Charge Bolt, Thunderbolt. And yeah, Slowbro has Growl, Water Gun, Withdraw, and Amnesia. As long as you don't let it set up an amnesia, you should be totally fine, because it just won't have enough special to deal with your Pokemon. Next up we have the Jinx. This is the one Pokemon we can't really one-shot. Jinx has pretty decent special, kind of decently fast, but it is very weak on the defense side. This thing has like 35 base defense or something crazy. We have a pretty great counter. We're gonna switch here into Stinger, and we should just Twin Needle this and one-shot it, pretty much. The Jinx has Double Slap, Ice Punch, Body Slam, and Thrash. And yeah, we're getting Double Slap here, but yeah, not a lot of damage to be honest. We're gonna get hit 3 times, and we're just gonna Twin Needle this. And this should be enough to just one-shot. And yeah, it's just a one-shot. Good job, Stinger. All we need from our only... or one of the few Pokemon that can actually learn a Bug Stab move in Gen 1, and it's just so powerful. Such an underrated mon in Gen 1. And there we go, that's going to be the Jinx, which leaves the Lapras. This thing is really bulky. Lapras is super good. This thing has incredibly high HP, just decent bulk overall, decent defense, decent even attack, even decent specials, just kind of a little bit slow. We're gonna see if we can actually return to Charge Bolt and Thunderbolt this, or if we're gonna take a lot of damage on the switch, which is another possibility. We do get Confuse Raid, which is something I don't particularly like. I think we could go Pulsar here. Pulsar is a good switch. Squishy's a good switch. We have a couple good switches here. Let's go maybe... I think Pulsar. Let's try Pulsar here on the Confuse Ray. And we're gonna get body slammed. Okay, a little bit annoying. That is a critical hit too, which is not great. We're faster than this. I'm gonna go for a recover and see what it does. Maybe it goes for another Confuse Ray. That would actually be good, because then I can just pivot back into Jolteon. So Charge Bolt without much trouble. Goes for another body slam. This time no crit, no para. Alright, let's see here. Let's try a Psychic, see how much damage that does. It's kind of hard to put a Charge Bolt back on the field after taking it out, but that is a critical Psychic, which is a lot of damage. We get another body slam going, and we finally get paralyzed. Oh, Lapras has Body Slam, Confuse Ray, Blizzard, and Hydro Pump, so pretty scary move pool, pretty decent move pool as well. So yeah, its highest damaging move should just be the Body Slam. So I'm gonna probably just go for a recover though, because I am a little bit slower. And that's another critical hit, and we do hit the recover. Seeing about 50 damage, 60 damage. That's a decent heal. Let's go for another recover here, another body slam. It's actually crazy how much Lapras is hitting the crits. That's like the double crit she does, even though, you know, Lapras is a slow Pokemon, and crits in Gen 1 are based on speed. But I can just recover a couple of turns and just be kind of full HP. And we can go for another Psychic here. We're gonna get body slammed once again. The reason why Lapras prioritizes using body slam over other moves is obviously because Blizzard and Hydro Pump do not very effective damage. So yeah, we're just gonna try another Psychic here, and yeah, we just have so many Pokemon that can wall this Lapras, even if we can't really reliably put Jolteon back on the field. And that's just a kill, not even a crit. God damn, Pulsar is powerful. With that, Lorelei has been defeated. Good job, team. Alright, I think it's time for Bruno. Let's do it. So I am Bruno of the Elite Four. Through rigorous training, people and Pokemon can become stronger. I've weight trained with my Pokemon. Dan, we will grind you down with our superior power. Hoo-ha! Alright, so yeah, Bruno has a couple of rock types, a couple of fighting types. But yeah, as we already mentioned, rock types are not that hard to deal with if you're just using special moves. And fighting type is probably the worst typing in Gen 1. So just having a decent Psychic type can pretty much just beat Bruno. We're gonna go ahead and use Pulsar here, and we're just gonna surf the Onix. This thing is just gonna go down, as you might expect. And the Onix has Rock Throw, Rage, Slam, and Harden. Yeah, just a pretty free kill there. And next up, we're gonna go into the Hitmonchan. So yeah, Hitmonchan has access to a variety of moves. It has Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Mega Punch, and Counter. The thing is, you know, all those moves are special until Generation 4 on the physical special split. So yeah, this thing can't really do much damage with its slow special. And we're just gonna go ahead and one-shot it with Psychic. It shouldn't be much trouble for Pulsar with its extremely high special and speed. Is just gonna outspeed all of his Pokemon and probably just one-shot them all. Next up, we have the Hitmonlee. This thing has Jump Kick, Focus Energy, High Jump Kick, and Mega Kick. And yeah, it's pretty much another Pokemon that has pretty good attack and speed just like Hitmonchan, but it just lacks a little bit of special. And without many high defenses and Pulsar just outspeeding straight up, we can just one-shot these Pokemon without them even being able to retaliate with their moves. Next up, we have another Onix. This has the exact same move pool of a Rock Throw, Rage, Slam, and Harden. And I'm just going to go back in another Surf. And as you might expect, it should be another one-shot, even though Onix has pretty decent defense. Every other stat, decent defense and speed. Every other stat is just lacking. And finally, we have the Machamp. And yeah, Machamp only has one offensive move. This has Leer, Focus Energy, Fissure, and Submission. One-shot moves do not work in Gen 1 if the enemy Pokemon is faster than the Pokemon, you know, trying to use the 1-KO move. And we're obviously faster than Machamp, so Fissure just straight up doesn't work. And if you're outspeeded, it's 30%. And then it has Submission, which we resist by being half Psychic. And like I mentioned, Pulsar is kind of decently bulky. It has okay HP and defense, to be honest. Obviously, it's better on the special side, but just Psychic is just enough to beat the Machamp. And that's pretty much it for Bruno. Just Pulsar one-shotting all of her Pokemon. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's time for Agatha. Let's do it. So I am Agatha of the Elite Four. Oak's taking a lot of interest in you, child. That old Duff was once tough and handsome. That was decades ago. Now he just wants to fiddle with his Pokedex. He's wrong. Pokemon are for fighting. Then, I'll show you how a real trainer fights. And yeah, Agatha. Agatha is the one I hate the most to face on... Every time I have to face an Agatha, because she is just super annoying. She usually just has these fast Pokemon that just spam like status condition moves like Confuse Ray and Hypnosis. It's just an annoying trainer overall to fight. And yeah, she specializes in Ghost-type Pokemon, I guess, even though all her Pokemon are poison. And obviously there's not a lot of Ghost-type Pokemon in Gen 1. But yeah, this thing is just an extremely annoying opponent to face, because she just really wants to spam Hypnosis and Confuse Ray with her fast Pokemon. But there is one Pokemon that completely counters Agatha's strongest Pokemon, which is Dugtrio. So Diglett. Diglett actually has more speed than Gengar, so you can outspeed Gengar. And because of Gengar has pretty high special and speed, but it actually has pretty low bulk in general. It has low HP stat, it has low defense stat, and because this is Gen 1, there's no Levitate, there's nothing that this Gengar can do to our Earthquake Stab. And yeah, we're just pretty much going to try to one-shot all of our Pokemon ideally, but we'll see how it goes. You basically just want to use faster Pokemon that can take care of her Pokemon as fast as possible. One hit KO is probably the priority with, I think, just Dugtrio is the best Pokemon in the game. So you can actually deny those status conditions that she's going to try to inflict on you. And yeah, the Gengar has Confuse Ray, Nightshade, Hypnosis, and Dream Eater. So yeah, she just likes to use Confuse Ray into like Hypnosis and Dream Eater. It's just an extremely annoying trainer to face. We're just going to be using Earthquake Stab with Dugtrio. This thing has pretty decent attack and it's incredibly fast. And we're just going to one-shot the Gengar. So that's one of her Gengars down, which is one of the most annoying Pokemon to face. So yeah, this goes directly into the Golbat. It's the one Pokemon where we might have a little bit of trouble against. The Golbat has Supersonic, Confuse Ray, Wing Attack, and Haze. And yeah, we're kind of relying a little bit on Rock Slide here, hitting, which is, it does hit. That's pretty good. Okay, how much damage does that do? That's pretty good damage. And we get Supersonic, and it miss! Okay, I think we can just go Slash here. Rock Slide is not 100% accurate, while Slash is, and we obviously always Slash crit. In Gen 1, right, we already talked about this. High critical hit ratio moves are 8 times more likely to crit because of how buggy Gen 1 is with critting, because crits are based on speed. So Diglett being incredibly fast and just making our crit chance just so high, Slash pretty much always crits. So I think this should be enough damage to kill the Golbat without having to rely on Rock Slide super effective damage again. And there we go. That actually kills the Golbat. Super nice that he missed the 55% chance Supersonic. And then we go for Hunter. So as you might expect, this is pretty much the same as the Gengar. We're just going to outspeed this and kill it. And the Hunter has Confuse Ray, Nightshade, Hypnosis, and Dream Eater. So again, a very annoying move pool. But we're so lucky to have such a good Pokemon like Diglett. And we're just going to one-shot the Hunter, which leaves 2 Pokemon. 3 Pokemon? 3 Pokemon. 2 Pokemon. 2 Pokemon. One of them is going to be the Arbok. Yeah, this thing is not great. Arbok has Bite, Glare, Screech, and Acid. Not great stats, not great move pool. Poison is another one of those typings that are not that great in Gen 1. The few Pokemon that are good are like Gengar, but we found a pretty good counter in our Earthquake, another stab, and we get another crit because of Diglett's just high speed, and we are able to one-shot that Arbok. And finally, we have the level 60 Gengar, and yeah, we're just gonna go for another Earthquake here. This thing has Confuse Ray, Nightshade, Toxic, and Dream Eater. So now we only have to deal with the Confuse Ray, but this should be enough to one-shot the Gengar and finish the super annoying to fight Agatha. Thank you, Dugtrio, for being such a good Pokemon. And yeah, that's pretty much for Agatha. I think we are ready. Let's fight Lance. Ah, I heard about you, Dan. I lead the Elite Four. You can call me Lance, the Dragon Trainer. You know what dragons are? Mythical Pokemon. They're hard to catch and raise, but their powers are superior. They're virtually indestructible. Well, are you ready to lose? Your league challenge ends with me, Dan. And yeah, alright, so Lance specializes in Dragon-type Pokemon, but there's only one line of Dragon-type Pokemon in the entire game, just like Agatha's Ghost-type Pokemon, which is going to be the Dratini line. So, by having, he has a couple of Dragonairs, a Dragonite, he also has a Gyarados and an Aerodactyl. So yeah, against the Gyarados, it's just 4 times weak to Electric. We're just going to be starting with Charge Bolt. The thing just straight up outspeeds the Gyarados, and we're just going to one-shot it with Thunderbolt. Gyarados has Hydro Pump, Dragon Rage, Leer, and Hyper Beam. Yeah, we actually need to be quite careful and a bit scared of the Hyper Beam. Is just a very strong move, But there he goes, the Gyarados. That's another clean one-shot. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about a niche and a little bit of something that you can do against Lance specifically. And that is kind of abuse how the AI works in Gen 1. So, first things first, we're going to be facing this Dragonair. Dragonair has Agility, Slam, Dragon Rage, and Hyper Beam. So yeah, Lance here has Agility, which is a move that boosts your speed, right? And the AI, they usually like to be faster than you. And if they aren't, if they have a way to be faster than you, they usually go for it. So because Charge Bolt is just a faster Pokemon than Dragonair, I'm pretty, what's the word? I think with confidence, I guess. I don't know what word I want to say, but I forgot that this is just going to go into Agility. So we're going to use this opportunity to switch into Squishy. And going into Squishy kind of just breaks Lance, and you'll see why. So it goes for Agility like predicted because, like I mentioned, the AI likes to be faster than your Pokemon. Now, even though Dragonair is faster than my Tentacool right now, it'll actually still spam Agility. And the reason for that is that when in Gen 1, when the enemy AI sees that he has a super effective move against your Pokemon, he will always go for it, even if the move does no damage. So because this Dragonair has Agility, which is a Psychic type move, he will spam Agility forever because he sees that Agility is super effective against Tentacool because Tentacool is half poison. This is something you can abuse against Lance specifically if you have a decent poison type that you can take care of his dragon types. I think Squishy is the perfect Pokemon. This Pokemon is incredibly powerful. It has pretty good bulk, really high special, really decent speed. It's just a really good Pokemon overall. And I'm just gonna go for an Ice Beam. And as you can see, he's just spamming Agility because he can't do anything else. And that's how you kind of just break Lance, and you can use this little exploit to have a very safe Lance fight with just a Tentacruel. It's that simple. You just bring Tentacruel with Ice Beam so you can one-shot his Dragon-type Pokemon, and that's it. He's just gonna spam Agility. This is his second Dragonair. It has the exact same move pool, so Agility, Slam, Dragon Rage, and Hyper Beam. And yeah, we're just gonna go for another Ice Beam. Even if he missed or something because of the 1 in 256 misclick, he would just spam Agility. There's literally nothing Lance could do. Next up, he's going to go into the Aerodactyl, so this thing can hit us, but it's no problem. Aerodactyl has a pretty bad move pool in general, and you can clearly see that by its level of move pool that this Aerodactyl has. It has Supersonic, Bite, Takedown, and Hyper Beam, which are only normal type moves. So we're going to use this opportunity to go into Escargot. This has 125 base defense and it's half rock type, which means we will resist any move that Aerodactyl does. And yeah, Escargot just completely walls this Aerodactyl. So we're just going to go for Surf here. It's going to go for Hyper Beam, which this is 150 base normal type move. Let's see how much damage it does. That is a crit too, and that did like 60 damage or something. It's crazy how low damage that actually did. So we're just going to go for a Surf here. And we're going to take down this Aerodactyl, probably with 2 Surfs, I would say. 1 is enough. I mean, Aerodactyl is pretty squishy. So there we go. Escargot with its 115 base special actually one-shots the Aerodactyl. Pretty darn cool. So there we go. And lastly, Lance's ace Pokemon, the Dragon Knight. This thing has Agility, Slam, Barrier, and Hyper Beam. So he has 2 Psychic type moves that deal no damage with Agility and Barrier. So as you might expect, we're just going to go back into Squishy, and he's going to be spamming Barrier and Agility until we win the fight. He's going to go for Agility actually, and yeah, that's it. He's locked on to Agility or Barrier for the rest of the turn, or the rest of the game, and we're just going to go for another Ice Beam and one-shot Lance's Dragonite. And with that, the last Elite Four member is defeated, Lance. Hey! I was looking forward to seeing you, Dan. My rival should be strong to keep me sharp. While working on Pokédex, I looked all over for powerful Pokémon. Not only that, I assembled teams that would beat any Pokémon type. And now, I'm the Pokémon League champion. Dan, do you know what that means? I'll tell you. I am the most powerful trainer in the world! Goddamn, I love that music. And we have our final challenge of the Nuzlocke. We have to fight and defeat Gary. Alright, so Gary's gonna start with his Pidgeot. Pidgeot has Whirlwind, Wing Attack. It has Sky Attack and Mirror Move. We're just gonna be using Charge Bolt, Thunderbolt to outspeed it and one-shot it. And yeah, just Charge Bolt is doing its job, one-shotting the Pokemon it needs to one-shot, and Pidgeot is also going down. No exception here. Next up is going to go into the Alakazam. So we're going to go straight up to our Psychic type counter, which is our Psychic type. We're going to go into Pulsar. And yeah, Alakazam is one of the scariest Pokemon you'll ever face on Gen 1 Nuzlocke. This thing is pretty powerful. It has Psybeam, Recover, Psychic, and Reflect, and has incredibly high special, but Pulsar just resists it, and Pulsar has high special as well, so it can take little to no damage. We're gonna go for a Tri-Attack as our counter. It's a physical move. It's 80 base power with 100% accuracy. It also has the chance to paralyze, to burn, or to freeze our opponent. He's gonna go for a Psybeam this time. That's a crit. If we Tri-Attack miss because of the 156 miss glitch into Psychic crit, we might lose here, so I'm gonna go for Recover just to be extra safe. This might even go for Reflect eventually, but we should be okay regaining HP with Recover. So that's pretty much the biggest counter to Psychic types. I think just a really strong Psychic type with Recover and then a physical move does its job. And yeah, we're just gonna go for another Tri-Attack here. That should pretty much be it for the Alakazam. There we go. That's one of the toughest Pokemon in Gary's team down. This is now going to go into the Rhydon. So we can pretty much just kill this, to be honest. Let's go for a Surf and one-shot the Rhydon. This has Tail Whip, Fury Attack, Horn Drill, and Leer. We already talked about how one-hit KOs do not work on Pokemon that are faster than you, so that was not even a risk there. And we got Pulsar level 58, okay. That's 3 Pokemon remaining. It's going to go into the Gyarados. We'll see if we can actually put Charge Bolt on the field without Gyarados doing too much damage. If not, I do think we have other options, but it's going to go into the Hydro Pump. That's probably the highest damaging move it has, unfortunately. Let's see how much damage we take. That is a crit. And that almost kills us. Okay, so obviously we outspeed here, and there's Thunderbolt, but there's always the 156 miss glitch. But let's see, do we even have another option to deal with this efficiently? We can go Squishy. We can go Escargo, I guess. I think we can't really use Charge Bolt anymore. I don't want to risk it at this point in the game. We're so close to winning. So yeah, we can go Pulsar as well. We can go Squishy, and we can go Escargo. Dragonite, or Gyarados, I mean, sorry, has Dragon Rage, Leer, Hydro Pump, and Hyper Beam. So I think Escargo's the best bet, because he resists all of his moves except for the Dragon Rage. So let's go into Escargo here. And he's gonna go for Hydro Pump again. Now we resisted, and we have 115 base special, so we should be kind of fine unless it crits again. Okay, that was 64 damage, right? So crit is over 120. Oof, that sucks. I mean, this is gonna be Dragon Rage, right? I think this just goes for Dragon Rage because it sees not very effective damage with Hydro Pump and Hyper Beam anymore. Wait, Hydro Pump is neutral because we're at Water Rock. I think we stay for one turn. I'm gonna try a Blizzard here. He does go back to Hydro Pump. If this crits, we are dead. Okay, no crit. Good enough, I guess. We needed to start chipping down the Gyarados before it becomes a big problem. We don't get the freeze. We don't do that much damage. We're gonna go back into Squishy here. Okay, another bulky water type to try to deal with the Gyarados. It goes for the Hyper Beam miss. That's crazy. And we're just gonna go Rap Abuse. There we go, the Rap Abuse. It is too broken not to abuse at this point. This Gyarados is enough of a trouble as it is. And yeah, again, we couldn't really put Jolteon back on the field to deal with the Gyarados, unfortunately. Every time it actually went for Hydro Pump, which kind of sucks. And that crit obviously doesn't help. And trying to play around the 156 miss glitch sometimes backfires. And yeah, we just took a lot of damage on a lot of Pokemon. But at least we got Squishy on the field safe, and now we can just abuse Rap. Gen 1 Rap is just too broken. That's another reason why Tentacruel is so good and why you should bring it to your Elite Four. Not only for Lance, but for just Rap techniques being so powerful. And yeah, there's nothing this Gyarados can do. Every time, you know, we just kind of wrap it down. Every time we just outspeed it so it can't do anything. So Gary, by the way, has a full restore for each of his Pokemon that he uses 12.5% of the time if the Pokemon is below 20% HP. So that's his one full restore. And we're just going to continue rapping until we beat the Gyarados. There's not a lot of other safe options we can beat the Gyarados with this current team, especially on how damaged some of my team members are. So yeah, we're just going to abuse a little bit of Rap here and take down the Gyarados slowly but surely. And as you can see, there's nothing Gyarados can do. We just outspeed it, and Rap is just too broken. It's crazy. This is actually hilarious. You have to use this for Gary on Route 22 as well. But then in that time we used Bind, which is the same as Ramp with Tangela, so yeah. It is what it is. Gotta play around that 156 misglitch, and eventually we will ramp down the Gyarados. We still have way too much PP for this, and he can't heal again, so there we go! Ramp beats the Gyarados. Scary Pokemon. Very good attack, very good special, decent speed. There we go. We beat the Gyarados, which leaves 2 Pokemon. One of them is going to be the Arcanine. How healthy is Escargo? 47 HP. I guess we don't go with Escargo. We can just stay on Squishy here, and we'll go for Surf. Arcanine has Roar, Ember, Leer, and Takedown. I think Squishy can definitely take down the Arcanine, no problem. So we're just gonna go ahead and Surf it. That should do at least half, so... Oh my god, Squishy's just so strong. Arcanine just dies! One shot, no problem. And finally, Gary's starter, the Venusaur, level 65. We're gonna go into the biggest grass type in the entire game, Stinger. That's right, we're gonna finish off this with our Beedrill. So Venusaur has Razor Leaf, it has Growth, Mega Drain, and Solar Beam. It is using Growth, but it doesn't matter, not really. 4 times super effective. Tornadle is not gonna one-shot actually, but it doesn't really matter because this thing can't do any damage. We're 4 times resistant to grass, and even with a Solar Beam after a growth, right? That's crazy. It only does that amount of damage. We're gonna go for another Tornadle here, and that is it. That is the Pokemon Blue Deathless Hardcore Nuzlocke completed.